Hi there! My name's Julia and I'm 17. One summer, we went camping in the woods. I was the only student from our class. I had never been to such places, but I always wanted to. I was wondering what there was in the forest. My dad is a forest guy. He went there quite often picking mushrooms and just walking, so I heard a lot about how to survive in the woods, but that was theory. I found this topic quite interesting and even wrote things down in a separate notebook to make it easier to remember. When we arrived at the place, our guide told us to stay together, as we could easily get lost. The driver stopped the bus deep in the woods so that we could see the wildest places and not just the edge. We walked for several hours, enjoying the beauty of the place. I was taking pictures of literally everything, and I didn't even notice that my group left. The guide should have counted us before moving to the next place. How are they going to find me now? These wilds are so confusing. I was afraid they left. It was getting dark, and my overexcitement with nature caused a big issue. When I arrived at the place that we started, I realized I was in real trouble. There was nobody there, and I didn't even remember where we came from on the bus. I started panicking. What if it's too late when they finally discover I'm not here? And there were no students from my class. I checked my phone, and it ran out of power. I thought it was over. I had to do something. It was getting darker and darker, so I recalled what my dad taught me. First of all, I had to stop panicking and breathe deeply. I had enough food to make it through the next day, and it cheered me up. Next, I had to build a shelter to spend the night. I picked up some moss, soft branches, and leaves and arranged a somewhat light carpet I could sleep on. I used large branches to build a roof and walls. I also built a nice cover using leafy branches, grass, moss, and everything that I could fit to that purpose. My shelter wasn't perfect, but it was quite good given that I did it for my first time in my life. The next step was the campfire. I remembered an Instagram life hack with a battery and foil. First, I put some moss, then thin sticks, followed by some larger branches. The fire was flaring up quickly. I fetched more firewood and got myself warm, had a snack, and fell asleep. The next day, I decided where to go. I had very little food left and had no idea when they were going to save me. Fortunately, I remember the route our bus was following. I had to find people. For that, I had to go straight without turning, so I hit the road. As I was walking, I made notches on the trees with a folding knife. I walked during the day, and when it got darker, I built a shelter, picked some firewood, looked for water and food. I was lucky to have found wild bird's egg and sorrel, which I snacked on. I used the stream of water for drinking, which I boiled in my mug. I also found some berries. On my third day, I met a forest ranger. He was happy to help me. By that time, I'd run out of food and could no longer walk. I snacked on all the food he shared, and I asked him if I could use his mobile phone. I called my family and gave them the coordinates of my location. During my forest adventure, I got used to being alone. People looked at me as if I was a savage. They simply didn't know what I went through by digging in the mud and having no opportunity to take a shower for several days. I think even my look has changed. I wanted to go home so bad. My parents came a few hours later. I was so happy to see them. They were very worried about me, and I told them my entire survival story. After this incident, I told about my adventures to my friends, acquaintances, and everyone who was interested. This incident taught me not to give up and never to panic. Life goes on, and difficulties are there for us to overcome. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Write in the comments whether you've been in the forest or plan to go there.